Welcome back. This is Adeep from T Technology. This lesson we are going to talk about how to print the value of all this array into the console. To print all of these values, so we need to use a concept called for loop. So what does for loop means? It means we need to go to iterate on each element of this array and get the size, put the conditions, and increase and print each value into the console. For this concept, we need for loop. So how we can write the for loop, the syntax of for loop? We begin with for, then int I. So here int I is we initiate a variable. For example, int I equals to 0. That means these variables begin from 0 index of the array. If I put I1, it means the variable, it begins the loop, the repetition or the iteration begin from the first index of the array. So as of now I put 0, it means the iterations, the variable will begin from the first index. Then semicolon, I less than, so see the size of the array. Size of the array now is 4. So I can hard coding put 4 here, but no, I don't want to do this one. We need to use dynamic way to get the size of this array. So for dynamic way, what we can use, we use the variable name, which is array dot length. There is a method which is length. If you look at this length integer, this method get the size of the array, which is a variable array. So length, then I put a semicolon, then I plus 1, or I can say I plus plus. It means increase in every time one number. For example, if for the first time this value of the I is 0, then for the second repeat time it should be 1. Then here we say curly brackets. So these curly brackets here, what need to be iterated? That is the question. So this is the syntax. Any line of code which is written down between these curly brackets is iterating. For example, I wanted to iterate to print out all the values. So for printing out, I use CISO control spacebar enter. Instead of that, I want to use the variable. Which variable I want to print it out? Array. So I say array, then what index? Because the variable which is I is coming from for loop, I put the I here, then here. So let me explain it again if you are a new beginner for the Java. See, I wanted to divide the for loop in 3 parts. The first part is int I. Int I is initiation phase, where you initiate a variable to iterate. The second part of the for loop is the condition, where you put the condition that how many times, how many number of time these variables should repeat it. And the third part of the for loop, which is increment or decrement, and here we use increment, which means how we want to get the value should increase. I plus plus, that means this number should increase by 1 every time. So suppose, for example, for the first time, if I value is equal to 0, so it's gonna go and execute it. Then we say I less than 0, yes, then it execute this line of code. If the second time I value is become 1, so it goes right to the left, I is 1, now I is less than the length which is 4, yes, that's satisfied. Then it goes execute this line of code. The next round, third round, I become 2. So now the value of I is what? 2. Is check the condition. I is less than 2. Yes, it's satisfied. Then it go execute this line. It goes up to the 4 if the value of I 4. So for I less than 4, yes, it's going to execute this 4. So this is how we can execute. So let me run them all so you can see. Yes, what 3, 2, 1, 4 is